and others in the industry have come together to fight spurious spares. And we have with us Mr. Ravi Pisharody, who's the head of commercial vehicles for Tata. And he's going to tell us what Tata is doing to fight spurious spares in the market. Sir, Tata is one of the largest sellers of commercial vehicles in India. And cost being one of the key factors with spare parts. I'm sure you see a lot of this spurious spares being used in the market. What are you doing to fight it?
Yeah, I think this is a problem for Tatas like it is for any big brand. In any category, if you see the top one or two brands which have been in India for many years, they always have the risk of being copied and spurious being sold in their name. Now, this is something we take extremely seriously because the fact is the consumer is getting a raw deal. And I think in auto parts it is even a bigger problem because some of these parts can be very expensive and it can damage the performance of the vehicle. So I think we have a unit, Mr. Rajesh Bagga heads the unit in our company. So we partner with SIAM in a lot of initiatives. But as Tata Motors, we are vigilant about it. The moment we hear something of a particular location or a particular area where counterfeit is coming, we try to follow that. We try to create some circumstances around it where they are moved out or even raids are conducted from time to time. So that because I think one of the problems in counterfeit is if people don't bother about it and just let it flourish saying in a country like India this is always going to be there, that's a very wrong attitude to take because then the problem will be bigger and bigger. By doing some of these things we can actually contain the problem. Besides that, one of the advantages of Tata's is we've been around for 50, 60 years. So besides our authorized dealers and service centers, we pride ourselves in the fact that our training, our drawings are available to even the independent service stations, not the franchise ones. And we make parts and part diagrams available to them. But the problem there is people who are unscrupulous and they start using these parts, they can sort of compromise our name. So we keep a close track and wherever we find that either our agents or otherwise are using these people, we suspend them, we don't give them the parts, we ask them to remove our authorized boards. So I think this is something which we have to keep going all the time. I don't think the problem will go away, but the least we can do is to keep pushing it. And companies like ours, because we are the largest auto company in India, we believe we have to take the lead position on such matters.
And what are you doing to encourage your customers or educate your customers about using genuine parts?
So we have a number of campaigns. In fact, our whole Tata spare parts group is called Tata Genuine Parts. There is a logo and the logo appears on all our packaging. And increasingly we have started using holograms, which are unique to only our products. And so we do a lot of campaigns with customers at spare parts showrooms. We have point of sale material, brochures talking about the Tata Genuine Parts philosophy. So we are trying to educate our customers, but given that our products are used far and wide by all types of people, we can by no means say that we are touching 100% of the population, but efforts are on continuously.
And price here is a key factor, which is why counterfeiting happens. I mean, people look to save a few hundred rupees, right? So on the price front, are there any programs that you're doing to make it easier because genuine parts are seen as a little more expensive compared to spurious spares?
Well, up to a point, we want to make sure that we don't profiteer from spare parts because sometimes there's a view that companies make a lot of money from spare parts, but actually that's not in our case. I think sometimes the technology is changing so rapidly. If you look at BS3 and BS4, there's a lot of electronics. And the know-how sitting in each of these components is fairly high. So you can't really make them very cheap. But we do try to make sure that the pricing is competitive and not allowing an industry to sprout just because our prices are expensive. And in our warranty, when we settle warranty claims and all, we make sure that these parts are genuine. If we get claims because these parts are non-genuine, we take a very dim view of people who are trying to file such claims.
Another thing that is seen in industry is that a lot of car makers, sell their genuine spares only through their authorized dealers and not in the open market. And recently there was a ruling, and even SIAM has been pushing for that make these spares available in the open market. So do you think that will kind of reduce counterfeiting, and to what extent?
Yes, I think what SIAM we have done is we brought the entire industry together, and you can see the logos of all the players who are participating in SIAM. they have come together in this committee to really pitch in, and together we want to fight this menace. As far as the case is concerned, I think the committee and the manufacturers themselves have taken a big call that we will make spares available freely and distribute them very deeply in the country. Players like Tata Motors, Maruti, Hyundai, these are the players who have big distribution networks, and they have taken large strides in making spares available across the nook and cranny of the country. And that what it does is then gives a consumer an easier choice to pick the genuine spare. And it's not only the price, it's also the safety of the consumer which is at risk here. Because if you can save 100 rupees taking a spurious part, but at the end of it, you may pay a lot more, like Mr. Pisharody said, in getting the car repaired because it would have interfered with the entire system.
I think for a company like ours where we sell mass products, the option of having parts only available at authorized locations is not an option at all. Because we pride ourselves on the fact that our distribution is wide. We have a very flourishing spare parts business. We think we cater to about 35% of the total demand, whereas we should be catering to 60-65%. So there are efforts on to cater to a larger thing, but we have a distribution system which reaches small auto parts, and our products are freely available.
Thank you.
Can you speak something about the campaign Mohan Mechanic?
On the
Campaign Mohan Mechanic.
Yes, I will. Yeah, this is a campaign where we have, made a logo of the Mohan Mechanic. You can see it behind me. Where? Yeah, here it is. And the character has been created on the lines of conscientious mechanic, because the mechanic is the link between the consumer and the OEM and the spare parts, original spare parts market, where the Mohan actually recommends genuine spares and also looks after the client in a better way, because if the part is good and it performs better on the vehicle, the client is sure to come back. And we are trying to woo that mechanic in offering to his consumer the genuine spares. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, sir.
Okay, carry on.
Sir, I'm Jasmine Singh, and I'm from Car Garage. So my first question is, being one of the leading manufacturers of automobiles in this country, what would you have to say about this initiative that has been taken against the Anti-Counterfeiting Group? What would be your say in this?
Yeah, I think as I said a little while ago, this is a very important initiative because finally a customer buys a vehicle, whether it's a commercial vehicle or a car, the real benefit of the quality of that vehicle is realized of the years that he uses the vehicle. So the experience that he has in using the vehicle is extremely important. So parts have to be available, and we need to make sure that the good quality parts are available, or the genuine parts are available, so that the design with which the vehicle has been created performs by using the relevant parts. So I think we are keeping a very close watch on counterfeits. We know it is available here and there. In auto parts, there is an opportunity. As technology is increasing, parts become expensive. So there's an opportunity for space parts. But we keep a close track, and we take a lot of vigilant action, both as a company as in SIAM, to make sure that those parts are not there. And definitely outlets which are in touch with us, authorized dealers as well as dealers which are sold serviced by our distributors, parts distributors. If we come to know if anybody is stocking such parts, we take very serious action against such dealers.
To this, I have a question. Indica is one of the most renowned names when it comes to the cab segment, but it has also been subjected to counterfeited products. So, sir, what would you say to this? I mean, what are the strategies or the plans that you might have taken to get rid of this menace that has been haunting this product?
Yes, the counterfeit market today in India is estimated at about 60% of the total parts market. And if that is the, let's say, the gravity of the situation, it calls for dramatic action. SIAM and the committee that has been formed against anti-counterfeit has a three-pronged approach. Number one, and the best one, I think, which works, is to make consumers and the regulators aware of the issue and the consequences of use of spurious parts. The second really is to lobby with the government and ask them to tighten up the laws. More than the law, really, it's the enforcement of the law across the country. So we are looking for a special trained force which can really enforce the intellectual property rights of the OEMs who spend millions and millions of dollars in research, in getting those automobiles alive, and you can see some beautiful automobiles in this Auto Expo. And there's a lot of money and a lot of time that has gone into designing and investing in those vehicles. So that needs to be recovered over a period of time. So therefore, it is very important that the IPRs that are generated are protected and enforced. The third one is really direct action, as Mr. Pisharody spoke of, and that is going after the defaulters. And we have our own strategies to nab them, to let's say encourage the police and the customs authorities to go after them and to confiscate their goods. It should not be that people who have not invested anything in that part really profiteer from it, and they're not charging cheap prices either. They're giving a discount of 10 to 15%, but really playing with the lives of the customer.
So how is Tata planning to promote this this campaign, especially in the rural sectors of this country, where people are not too much into the social media? So how are you planning to go about it?
Yeah, that's the precise idea of creating Mohan. This Mohan is likely to reach every service center across the country where spare parts are sold or where vehicles are serviced. And Mohan will be the mascot which the industry will project as a combined initiative of the industry to really underline the need for purchasing only genuine spare parts. And that's the whole idea behind it. And we'll take it right deep into the country.
Talking of mechanics, we have a program with mechanics. So mechanics countrywide, there is a sort of loyalty program. So every time that they use one of the Tata parts, and which is obviously a genuine part, it gets logged into a system. And over time, if they use it, they are eligible for very big awards. Some of them actually go abroad on our account. So we realize that mechanic is a key link, because for instance, in the passenger car business, a lot of customers don't even know what parts are going in. I think the commercial vehicle business, because it's an individual product and their business depends on it, there's a bit more circumspection about quality parts, but cars, they're not. So mechanics are a very integral link to this whole campaign. And we do have campaigns to make sure mechanics are tied to us. There are a lot of names to these campaigns, but they do get a lot of encouragement to team up with us.
Sir, talking about campaigns, what would you like to say about social media and the kind of influence it may have on the publics? And that's it, your say on it.
Yes, Mohan is very active on the social media. You will find him on Twitter, you will find him on Facebook, and just let's say search for Mohan and anti-counterfeiting. You will find him all over the place. And we are inviting younger people to join the campaign. And if you can just pan behind me, a lot of young kids across the country have participated and have expressed themselves on a real and fake initiative. They have their own ideas of what it is and what should be done by even adults like us. And we are going to carry this forward. All these lovely paintings kids have made will go online, and we will popularize Mohan and the whole initiative on the social media.